Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I apply my press-on nails so that they stay on longer. So first of all, we're going to need a couple things. We need, of course, our press-on nails, and then we're also going to need a nail file and a good quality glue. So this is not going to be the sticky tabs that come with the nails. Also an alcohol pad or a nail dehydrator, either one works. And then this is going to be our optional step. But I do think this makes a difference in making nails stay on longer because it just creates a better foundation between the nail and the press-on. If you don't have this little pusher tool, or if you don't have time, if you're in a rush, then you can skip this part. But basically what I'm doing is just gently pushing back. You're not trying to like scrape your skin or anything. You're just trying to get some of that dead skin off of the base of your nail and just get that out of the way, and then we'll deal with that in the next couple steps. So yes, just be gentle, don't hurt yourself. I've definitely skipped this step a couple times and they still last and they're still sturdy, but I will say they do lift a little bit on the edge more often than not if you do skip the step, but that's okay. You can always just glue it back. So this is the most important step, and this is really honestly not great for your nails. So if you don't plan on wearing press-ons for a long time, or if you're gonna just wear them once, I would not recommend doing this. But this does help though. This is probably the most important step. So file your nails, the top of your nails, and you want to make sure that you get every crevice and every corner of your nail, because this is what creates like a little roughness for the glue and the nail to be able to stick to. So if you create a good foundation for the nail, then it'll stay on a lot longer. Now, of course, the amount of time that they stay on is going to be dependent on the amount of work you're doing with your hands. So if you're like gardening all the time, like I am, they might stay on, I don't know, 2 weeks. Or if you're not really using your hands that much, they'll probably stay on a little bit longer. So, it all depends on how you're treating them as well. But for me, typically they last between 2 and 3 weeks if they're not subject to a lot of work or stress. And as I mentioned before, sometimes after, I don't know, maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks, or however long, sometimes they do begin to lift up at the base of the nail a little bit. And honestly, what you can just do is take a little bit more glue and press it back down, and it should last a couple more days or a week, depending on how much glue you put. But anyway, your nails should be looking like this at this point. They should all be completely scratched on the surface, completely filed. So now we can move on to the next step, which is going to be using our alcohol or nail dehydrator. And so this is also important that you get every inch of your nail, and the goal here is to just get all of that debris from, not only from the filing, but also like any of that oil or any dead skin that could be left on the nail, so that it doesn't get between your nail and the press on. I also like to use one alcohol pad for each hand, but if you only have one, you can use one side and then just flip it over for the other hand, just to make sure that you get the maximum amount possible off of the nails. So at this point, we're done with all the prep and we can actually start applying our press-ons. So what I like to do is I put them on my dominant hand first, so that I don't have press-ons on my non-dominant hand trying to do it. It's just easier in my opinion, but you can do whatever you want. So the method I use is I will put glue on the inside of the press-on, and I will also put it on my nail itself. And so that way I just feel like it creates less of a chance of there being bubbles or any kind of missing patches between the press-on and the nail, because another important part is to just make sure that you don't give it any kind of pocket or something so that it can create lift between your nail and the press-on. So I do use a lot of glue, and sometimes it can leak out the sides a little bit, but as long as you just kind of remove that before it hardens, you should be good. And then another important part is I apply pressure to the nail, and not only in one spot. I kind of use my other finger to apply pressure around different parts of the nail, and I usually do that for a couple seconds. Usually 10 to 30 seconds. If you're in a rush, you can do 10 seconds. I usually like to do a little longer just for peace of mind. But if any glue does come out, now would be the time to take it off. Usually I keep the alcohol pad around so that I can use it to get the glue off the sides. If it does harden, it's kind of a little bit more difficult to deal with, but just wait for it to completely harden, and then you can use a nail file to file it off. And so it's really not that big of a deal. I should also say that I am by no means a professional of any kind, but I'm just showing you the method that works for me. So I could also make a video showing how I take them off too, if that would be interesting to anyone. And now, because it's YouTube, we can magically cut to when the nails are all applied, so let's do that. And would you look at that, all of our nails are on and they look beautiful. So here is the finished result. I got these nails off of Etsy. If anyone's interested in where I got them, just leave a comment and I can send you the link. Now if you followed all of the steps, they should be pretty sturdy. I'm trying to demonstrate that here. I don't know if it's coming across very well, but the point of this was for me to show you that they stay on. They feel very sturdy. You don't feel like you can pull them off or anything. So yes, you have some sturdy nails that are going to last a long time and look beautiful.